Last week, the UFC made a few announcements. One of those was that Khamzat Chimaev will be fighting for the middleweight championship against Dricus du Plessis at UFC 319. It's a pretty big announcement. Khamzat is an undefeated guy. There's all sorts of rumors and tales and stories about him sleeping at the gym and being the best fighter anybody has ever trained with. But then in execution, gets a little tired, gets a little hit. So there's some mysteries that will be solved at UFC 319. And before we film these shows, Josh and I bounce around topics. And for some reason in our shared iCloud Apple Notes, I saw a topic it added that said, just how bad is Khamzat? And I said, Josh, did you mean to write that? And he said, yes. I don't even know what we're about to talk about, but my name is Angelo. This is Josh Thompson, and welcome to Bad Takes. Josh, what the hell's your problem with Khamzat?
Even when you do know what we're going to talk about, you don't prepare. So it doesn't matter. Like you're really just off the cuff. You are a true casual through and through. And I love it to the fullest. I absolutely love it. I love the fact that we can have some fun. I can pinball some things off you, like literally off your belly, off your forehead, off your cheeks, all of these things.
Bounce off like throwing a ball at a wall.
Right off. But let's be honest. How bad is Khamzat Chimaev? Why is everyone talking about how great he is? Let's talk about how bad is he? How bad is he? He beat Zhang Liang Li, right? Dominant performance when he could make 170. Okay. Then he goes around, he fights Gerald Meerschaert. Good KO punch, 17 seconds, whatever it was, right? I understand where we're at on that fight. Gilbert Burns.
Wait, that was his very next fight, was Gilbert
Burns? No,
it
went Gerald Meerschaert, Lee, and then it went Burns. Burns.
Oh, okay.
Where's I look at Burns took him to deep waters. Dropped him in the third, really pushed him, and we are seeing where Gilbert Burns is now. Now, I know, look, we are, 3 years removed? That's a long time in the fight world. That's at least 6 fights, 2, 4, 6, in 3 years removed. So we're coming up. It's almost, it's about at least 4 to 5 fights that's in there, at least for him. He's not an active fighter, though. So we got Kevin Holland, dominant performance, took a guy down who's tall, long, and lanky, took him down, submitted him pretty quickly. Get that part. Kamaru Usman, short notice, fighting up a whole weight class, former champion. You got to give Kamaru Usman a lot of credit for stepping up on short notice. A lot of guys were avoiding the Chimaev fight. Who wins the third round? Kamaru Usman wins the third round. Like, he was able to take him down. He was able to do some damage. He was able to actually make him work. So my next question is, and then he fights Robert Whitaker. Robert Whitaker is known. He has made it very clear. I've had my teeth pushed in before. I know exactly what it was when he got to that choke. It was more of a face crank. It pushed my teeth in. I got nervous because, obviously it's my teeth. I don't know what I'm going to have to do. Like, I don't know the extent of the damage. I don't know any of those things. I just know that my teeth were pushed in. That's it. It wasn't something that Chimaev, it was something that he did, but it wasn't something that like, oh man, he was so strong, he pushed his teeth in. No, it wasn't that. It's happened before to Robert Whitaker. So I guess I'm getting to the point of how bad is he, or is he good? Is he good? And I'm saying mediocre good. We're going to find out when he fights DDP. But my thing is, we've seen where Gilbert Burns is at now. Kevin Holland went through, more slump after he lost to him. Then, he fights Kamaru Usman on 1 week's notice, coming up in weight from 70 to 85, struggled, lost the third round. Robert Whitaker, very fast fight, but because of injury already, something he's been known to have with the teeth being pushed in. So is he as good as we think he is? I've said this for the longest time. The sample size is not big enough for me with Chimaev. It's just not big enough. Are we giving him too much credit? Are we giving him the Khabib credit because everyone's like, oh, he's Muslim. Oh, he's got the beard. Oh, he can wrestle. Are we giving him the Khabib credit? No one is like Khabib. Nobody is like Islam. Nobody is like these younger guys that are coming up. Are we giving them credit because we associate the two things? They are not the same. They are not the same. Khabib didn't get tired. Tell me when he got tired. He got tired after whooping Connor's ass in the second round. He gassed in the third. He took a round off. That's not being tired. That's just like, hey, understanding what's at stake. Let me go ahead and take a round off. I'm going to finish you in the fourth. And that's exactly what he did. Didn't leave anything up to the judges. Brother, you bring all these people from Ireland. They watch you. I put you choke. They watch you tap. Brother, you tap. You let all these guys come from Ireland and watch you tap. Why? Okay, you understand. Okay, Chimaev. I'm asking you, is he as
Sure.
good as people think? Or are we getting a fraud check here soon with DDP?
I think it's twofold. I think he is very clearly good because the only negative thing you or anybody else can say about him is he gasses. That's not a skill set thing, right? That's a cardio thing. So he has dominated every single person he has ever fought, at least for 1 or 2 rounds. At least. The only times he looks like a human being is when he's exhausted. And that's a problem. And I'll give him 2 excuses. When he fought Gilbert Burns, it was at 170. Like, I don't know how he was making 170, and half the time he didn't make it. So let's say he was that exhausted because it was 170. The Usman thing, I agree. It was short notice step up for Usman. The fact that Usman survived that first round was a miracle in its own right. And then Chimaev slowed down. And he shouldn't have, because he had a full camp for that fight. That wasn't short notice for him. He should not have slowed down the way that he did. But he did slow down, but he had the first 2 rounds banked. So it was
If
it
that was a
what it was.
5-round fight, how would that fight have went?
Oh, yeah, he would have lost a 5-round fight, unless he
Yeah.
would have gotten some second wind, which, happens occasionally. But he was very clearly the better fighter, because you know what? In the first round, I don't care if Kamaru Usman's showing up on short notice or not. He has 1 round of cardio at least, and Kamaru's
He's a
cardio was there.
170-pounder.
Correct. But it wasn't a size thing. He was immediately taken down, like the technique gap was wild. So Chimaev is an amazing wrestler. We don't really see him strike long enough to know how good his striking or is not. He's an amazing wrestler that has no issue shooting instantly, and then he's like an extra layer of skin, so you can't really get rid of him. So is the question, is Chimaev one of the best middleweights on planet Earth? I guess we don't know. We will find out with DDP. I think what we have right now is a guy that is so unbelievably dominant at one thing that he has looked phenomenal doing that one thing. And if he can't, I don't know what the fight's going to look like. So the DDP matchup is perfect. I also think we're all living off of the hype that other people have built up about Chimaev. You can hear all these people that have ever trained with him, and they all say he's an animal. Every single person says this guy is like next level animal. And did you see, didn't he wrestle Arman Sarukian and smoked them? Yeah.
155.
No, was it Arman or was it?
155.
So what? Hold on.
Wait,
yeah, he
you
smoked.
like Angelo, did those words just come out of your damn mouth? Like you said,
You're the one who insists you could take me down. You
Yeah,
insist you can. Do you not
You
insist
don't
that
know
you
how to
can?
wrestle.
Bullshit. Bullshit. You insist you
Bro.
can take me down.
Bro, it wouldn't
So
even be a
what's the
contest.
difference?
It wouldn't even be
Okay.
a contest.
So for you, it's all right. But with Khamzat, there's a size difference.
Look, first off, Khamzat trains every day. You do not train every day. When was the last time you trained, Angelo? Last Friday?
2 Fridays ago.
2 Fridays ago. 2 weeks ago.
And honestly, it was a great training session too.
2 weeks ago.
People to the point where they're like, "This."
You're trying to correlate yourself with a world-class athlete.
No,
period.
No. I wasn't connecting those dots.
2 world-class athletes, equal grounds of training. One is 155, one is 185. Let's just be honest. One walks around probably 185, the lighter one, and the other one walks around about 210. So in reality, it doesn't matter what they weigh in at. They walk around different in about 20-something pounds. Tell me it doesn't make a difference, Angelo. Tell me. With a fucking straight face, tell me it doesn't make a difference.
There is some difference there, but we have seen. My point is
that you're wrong.
My point is he's very good, and he's a very good wrestler, and we'll know more later. But where I was going with that before I was rudely interrupted by a much older, smaller gentleman is that anybody who has ever trained with Khamzat, it like speaks of him like he is. They're like, this guy is different. Like he is different. And the things he do, there was another video that came out of him smoking the
was
Olympian.
Not smoking Yaroslav Amosov. He wrestled with Yaroslav Amosov. And actually there was 3 versions of that video that came out. And there was versions of Yaroslav Amosov taking him down.
Well, he's an Olympic gold medalist.
Yaroslav Amosov is not an Olympic gold medalist. Never wrestled ever.
Well, then we're talking about a different video, because there was a video of him training with him.
I think he was wrestling with Satulayev, who was an Olympic gold medalist.
Some Olympic medalist. Yeah, and he was like getting the better of those.
Satulayev is a lot bigger than him and a lot better wrestler, and obviously that was like Satulayev just giving him some love. You could tell. There's levels to that. Now, when you're talking about they were at Tiger Muay Thai, you had Yaroslav Amosov, and now where I will give him credit, I will give Chimaev credit. I saw the video of him and Luke Rockhold. Him and Luke Rockhold on
Oh
the
yeah.
ground together. He had a very good performance against Luke. I've trained with Luke years and years. For my Benson Henderson fight, all I had to train with really and spar with and grapple with was Luke Rockhold because he had a fight around the same time. Around the exact same time. I think he was fighting Weidman at that time. So he was getting ready for a title fight, only using me and Dwight Grant, who was also later on in the 170, 185 pound weight class in the UFC, but was not in the UFC at the time. We were his only two training partners for that whole camp, coming through November, December into January for the fights. And man, he had a great performance when I watched that grappling. I know we're talking about practice, as Allen Iverson would say. What we talking about practice? Practice.
It's not a
So
game.
just it comes into that feeling of he is fantastic when he is fresh. But we've seen him wilt in rounds 2, rounds 3. He got dropped by Gilbert Burns, and look at Gilbert since they fought, can't seem to buy a win right now. So is he as bad or is he as good as people want to make him? Or I don't think he's as good as people want him to be.
That will be interesting because there's also the COVID aspect to it. So Shemaev, the stories about him were always that he was a cardio demon, that he was unbelievable, could compete for hours on end and never get tired, and he beat everybody in the gym all the time, always. And then we didn't quite get that. But he did get COVID. He was like hospitalized. Then he had other random health issue after random health issue after random health issue. So what I don't know is, have all of these random health issues, is that why his cardio is not what they told us it would be? Or are these just like fables that have morphed over time to like, this guy is, a legend in like Hicks and Gracie type stories? I don't know.
Strong possibility that like there were some medical issues through the COVID situation. Very strong. There was a guy out of here, Chris Brennan. I was scheduled to fight Chris Brennan multiple times before I got signed to the UFC back in 2090. It was 98, 99, 2000. We were supposed to fight several times. Fight never came to fruition. We actually signed a fight a couple times against each other in King of the Cage. He is here in Frisco. He got really bad COVID and now is going out to CPI stem cells in Mexico in Tijuana to get basically stem cells for his lungs.
So he's not full recovered yet.
He can't
4
even
years
fly.
later.
He can't fly. He has to drive everywhere because the compression from the airplane causes him not to be able to fly. And so now with the CPI stem cells, he's been able to fly, but only short durations, like an hour and a half somewhere, hour and a half. He can't go on long flights. Anyways, that might be a possibility for Khamzat Chimaev. My personal opinion is that may have something to do with it. But on top of that, what were the stories that you had heard a long, long time ago about Vitor Belfort? Did you ever hear those stories? Greatest athlete inside, greatest fighter inside the ring, inside the practice. He was destroying everybody. But there was moments when he got out there, the pressure
things got tough, and he was like,
got tough and just folded. And look, that's why when people tell you it doesn't matter whether you're in 4th grade, 5th grade, high school, you're an Olympic athlete. You either have it in you or you don't to get through it. You've got to get, like, people talk about how great these, they're so good here, they're so good there. But how are they under pressure? How are they when somebody hits them back? What are they like when they're not the hammer and they're the nail?
Yeah.
And that's where we're at right now. He's fantastic when he's the hammer. I'm not denying that. And I don't think anyone is. I'm simply saying, what is he like when all of a sudden, boom, he gets cracked? I've seen world class, I've seen all-American wrestlers, a guy that I really I looked up to, I thought was a fantastic, Eric Deuce, fought Mike Guyman in the Ultimate Athlete Series. Eric Deuce was tearing dudes up at AKA. Tearing them up. World-class guys who were in the UFC. We thought he was like the guy. Eric Deuce. He was a All-American international champ out of Wisconsin, but he wrestled at Stanford. I knew him from Stanford, wrestled him in the wrestling room at Stanford. Like, just a fantastic dude. Got hit one time in a fight, ran to the corner, covered up till the ref stopped it. It's just different. Like we can talk about practice. We can talk about all
Yeah.
we want. Like Allen Iverson would say, we're talking about practice. Like this is not what we're doing here. We're talking about what happens in the fight game. Is Chimaev that guy? Does he fold? Does he break?
I don't think he folds.
I'm leaning more towards he does.
We've seen him dog it out though. He dogged it out with Gilbert Burns. He didn't break.
I wouldn't say he dogged it out. I'm gonna say he survived.
He survived, but he didn't survive like how Jose Aldo just survived.
That's
I mean, like he wasn't like he was still swinging.
Correct. You are correct.
Like he was not in. He definitely wasn't an animal, and he wasn't pushing forward, and it wasn't like this guy will fight to the death, like what we saw with Islam and Dustin. Like it wasn't like that.
We couldn't even get that out of fucking Sean Strickland after saying he would fight till he died. We couldn't even get that out of him. So,
I mean, we're definitely we will find out what and who Chimaev is. If anybody's gonna test him, it'll be DDP because
because he's probably the best in the world in 1.5 rounds. He's probably
I think DDP can survive.
I think especially at middleweight. At a round and a half, he's the best in the world. What is he like after the round and a half?
And I think DDP will show us.
People were like, "Oh, you're crazy. He's this. You're a Chimaev hater." I'm not a Chimaev hater. I know fighting. I see it. I'm
not a Chimaev hater. Hey, today's bad take discussion. Just how bad is Chimaev?
Right? Well, because you have to start thinking to yourself, man. Like, you gotta remember, you've got to remember, he didn't make weight for Kevin Holland. He was 11 pounds over. That's how that fight happened. Kevin Holland made weight at 170.
Well, he was supposed to be fighting. Wasn't he supposed to be fighting Nate Diaz? He wasn't even supposed to be fighting Kevin Holland.
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be fighting Kevin Holland.
Yeah,
Kevin Holland was supposed to fight somebody else. I think he was supposed to fight.
No, Lee. Kevin Holland was supposed to fight D-Rod, and Nate Diaz was supposed to fight Khamzat, and then they just moved it all around. And that's how Kevin Holland has. The reason Kevin Holland doesn't care about fighting anymore is because he made so much money fighting Khamzat at short notice.
He'll start taking it serious now. He spent all of his money. That's why we're seeing better performances out of him now.
Quite literally. I think I really
$1 million only goes so far.
Yeah, especially when nowadays spending it. But I think we are going to find out how good he is or is not, because I don't think he will finish DDP in a round and a half. So if he wins that fight, he will have to gut it out and do it over the course of either full 25 minutes or a later type finish.
Well, here's my thing. All you guys are going to come back. If he wins in that first round and a half, you go, I see he's so good. He's this, he's that. Look, that was never the argument. He's the greatest fighter in a round and a half. The argument is, how is he after a round and a half? Does he win the second round fully? Does he win the third? Can he even get to the fourth?
He's never won a third round before.
You know what I mean? Like he lost to Usman, who's a 70-pounder. Stop giving him credit for beating Usman. Usman came out in a couple days' notice and is a 70-pounder. Stop. Oh, he's a world-class guy. Yeah, I know he is, but he's a 70-pounder.
Coming off 2 losses at the time.
Stop giving him credit for. He came in. Kevin Holland made weight for 170. He wasn't ready to fight 11 pounds overweight Chimaev. He did because he took the money. Good on him. I'm happy for him. Cash out, buddy. Get your money. But let's just be honest. When he made the weight, he looked great against Lee. Goes up, doesn't make the weight when he fights Kevin Holland, makes the weight at 85, but then fights Kamaru Usman, who's a 70-pounder. And then he has a dominant performance in the first round against Whitaker, who has been known to have teeth problems.
Yeah, I know you keep saying that, and I get what you're saying. Like the point is, he doesn't have Hercules strength. Like this has happened to that dude's mouth before. But to even end up in that position that quickly against Robert Whitaker is pretty spectacacular. Like he ran through the dude, because if it wasn't the teeth crushing, there was going to be a choke there. Like he was going to finish him.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I just wouldn't say that. How many times have people had Whitaker's back? How many times? Multiple times.
How many?
So many guys have had his back.
Name 6.
Name 6. He hasn't even guys, world-class guys. Like, come on.
You said so many.
Man. But so many guys have had his back. You know, but like I said, I'm not talking about where he's at rounds 1.5.
Yeah.
Don't come on
I'm
here.
with you on that.
Don't hit my comments and say, hey, see, he's that good. But I never said he wasn't good in a round and a half. Talk to me around the end of round 2. Talk to me around 3, 4, and 5. Talk to me then.
Yeah.
Talk to me then. Send me a text. Okay. Drop me
Just
a
tell me your
drop
tell
me
me
a
your
DM,
I'll give you his phone number. I'll put it
and
on
I will
the
punch you in the dick.
we'll edit it into this video.
I will. I've had my number since 1997.
Really?
Yeah, you fuck up my number, I will punch you in the dick.
Not like a
Right
Chael
there.
Sonnen situation where his number gets leaked and then he has to change the whole thing.
Well, like
Did you
Whitaker, let's see. Duplessis, Marvin
finish him?
Vittori, Izzy, Kelvin Gastelum, Cannonier,
I don't
Derek
know if any
Gill,
of those people had his back. Literally.
Yoel Romero twice. Like
That was all standing.
Jacare, Derek Brunson, Rafael Natal, Uriah Faber did not, or Uriah Hall did not. Brad
I literally don't know
Tavares,
if anybody I don't know if anybody did.
I would say. Oh, I know for sure. For sure, I would say Natal had his back. I would for sure say Brunson had his back because Brunson for sure took him down. Jacare for sure had his back. Yoel Romero for sure took him down on all fours. Probably had his back.
No.
Yes.
I don't think UL had it. All right, this is very
I would like it's no different than me taking him down. He's super
well, size doesn't matter. Here we go.
Bro, you haven't trained in 2 weeks. I'm training tomorrow morning.
I don't need to
I'm training
train
tomorrow morning.
at all to
Training
not
tomorrow
be taken
morning.
down by a
Against
child.
black belts. Like you're white belt, blue belt level. Are you blue belt?
First of all, this was
Are you a blue belt?
yeah. Guess what year I got my blue belt in?
You did?
Yeah, guess what year I got it in?
Fucking like 20 years ago.
Literally.
Jeez.
I got my blue belt in 2004. That's
Yeah.
why anytime I go to a new gym and they're like, "Oh, what are you?" I'm like, "I'm a blue belt." And then they watch me roll. They're like, "Dude," I was like, I'm a blue belt for 20 years. Like I'm a blue belt like in actual
trying to be nice.
I actually
you probably do move well for a big guy.
I move insanely well for a big dude.
Please stop.
And I have the general awareness of doing this for 20 years. So it's
Angelo,
like
I swear, I see you walk like down the hallway or like, anywhere. I'm like, dude, how the fuck did that guy tie his shoes? Seriously, I have no idea. Like, I
dude,
give
I'm
you credit
insanely
on this show.
flexible, too.
I give you
I'm
credit on this show.
insanely flexible,
People
too.
don't think you're a total tool. Okay. But like, I love you to death. But let's be honest. Come on. I'm wondering how you wake up every morning and tie your own fucking shoes.
Listen, there's only one way to solve these debates, and that's to have you shoot into a brick wall and get tossed.
Shoot in. Do you think I'm going to shoot like a double leg and try to blast W?
Yeah, try some stupid outside 50-year-old sweep that's just not going to work.
No. I'm going to put you right into a body lock, lift you up, and slam you on your head.
Okay. I don't even think you could bear hug.
Because I can't get around your fat waist, you fucking guy. Like,
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
I would love to just fucking bury my lips in those big dimples, though. It'd be so good.
It's just not happening. It's not happening.
Okay, so is he as good as we think, or are you as shit as we think?
I think he is as good as we think. I think he's as good as everybody has said.
Okay.
But I still think DDP beats him literally just because he is a brute force, never stop kind of guy. And if he survives, then he's good. But I do think Khamzat is that good. Grappling.
Do you have any odds on this fight? Early odds on this fight?
Yeah, he's a 2-1 favorite.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he was the other day. Let me see if it moved.
I'm taking DDP on this fight.
Let's see if those odds move. But the other day he was a 2-1 favorite when this was when we checked on this a little bit after the announcement. So that's UFC 219, and at UFC 219 he is a 2-1 favorite, minus 200. DDP is plus 170. So $100 will win you 170.
2-1. Huh? Interesting.
I think DDP is a good bet as well.
Yeah,
I think DDP wins. I think he because Jacob put it best.
Do you see him winning by finish, DDP, in rounds 4 and 5? That's where I'm at. Like, he was so
tired,
exhausted and lethargic. Like, he couldn't keep his arms up. He reminded me of guys when they fought in fucking Mexico City the first time.
And he was fighting in Saudi Arabia. Where was the Usman fight? Was that Fight Island, Saudi Arabia? Wherever that fight was more beneficial for Khamzat than it was for the guy who had to fly to the other side of the planet. And this will be in Chicago, and not that DDP is.
When he fought
Usman.
When he fought,
I'm not worried about the Burns one because the Burns one he was at 170. Like, I don't know how his body was doing that. The Usman one is the one where it's like, yeah, you really should not have gassed in that situation.
They fought in Yaz Island for Whitaker and Chimaev. I don't know what let me see what he fought Usman in.
Because I think that was also in the Middle East, which Khamzat lives in. I think he lives in.
He was living in Sweden, but I think he's in France now.
Oh, I think he was in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, this was in Yaz Island as well.
Yeah.
So both times he fought in Yaz Island.
Yeah, so I guess my point is, like, yes, this is in Chicago, and it's not like DDP lives in Chicago, but the cardio's already been questionable. Now fighting on the other side of the planet, like there's a lot of factors here. I think DDP can definitely win this fight, and it will be. It's the most excited I've been for. Actually, the two main events this year that I've been most excited for have both been DDP main events. Him versus Adesanya, and now him versus Khamzat.
Yeah,
I'm loving this fight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Ever since Alex fell off, I mean, since Alex lost to Ankalaev, I think we've lost a little bit of that luster. And yeah, that's where we're at, man. So
let us know if you guys think Khamzat's about to get fraud checked. Is he overrated? Is he underrated? Is he who everybody that trained with him says he is? There's a lot of questions out, and we'll get those questions answered in a couple months here. But let me know your thoughts. Let us know what you think. My name's Angelo. This is Josh Thompson. That was our bad takes. Let us know what other topics you want us to cover.
Outside of round 2, fraud check.